Hello everyone! Mists of Pandaria is about to launch, and it's not just a trip down memory lane. This relaunch brings it with exciting changes and updates that might just make you want to return or experience Mists of Pandaria for the first time. Whether you're a veteran who remembers the epic raids and pet battles, someone who missed out on Mists of Pandaria, or a new player wondering what all the hype is about. This video will break down everything you need to know, including what's changed and why it matters. Let's kick things off with one of the most iconic parts of Mists of Pandaria, the Pandaren race and the monk class. When Pandaren was introduced, it wasn't about a new race, they had their own entire storyline, starting zone and cultural identity. They were a huge hit, and the monk class was an instant favourite for many players with its unique chi energy mechanic and multiple specializations. In MoP Classic, the Pandaren of course are back, and while their starting experience remains mostly the same, there's a few key changes. You'll be able to get the full experience of the Wandering Isle, but now with that improved visual effects and better integration like the rest of the game world. The Pandaren starting experience, though classic, will now have more of a streamlined storytelling. You'll notice better animation, sound design that reflect the advancements of Blizzard since 2012. For the monk class, Brewmaster, Windwalker and Mistweaver are all back, but with some more important refinements. Brewmaster's stagger mechanic has been updated. Originally, Brewmasters were known for their high skill ceiling, requiring players to manage the stagger mechanic carefully. In MoP Classic, this mechanic has been tuned for smoother gameplay, ensuring the Brewmaster tanks are less punishing for players while keeping their strategic depth. Windwalker monks are receiving tweaks to their DPS scaling. Blizzard had listened to feedback and adjusted stat scaling for Windwalkers, making them more competitive in both raids and PvP. In MoP, Windwalkers were often underperforming in certain areas, especially in certain content, so the changes in MoP Classic will bring them more in line with other DPS classes, making them a solid pick for new and returning players. Finally, Mistweavers are getting improvements to their healing output. Especially with mana regeneration. They're historically one of the most complex healers to play, but now their healing mechanics are smoother and more accessible. Both casual and hardcore healers will be able to feel the impact in raids. Now let's dive into the class changes for MoP Classic. It features a wide range of class adjustments to keep things balanced and fair for all roles and specs. Blizzard didn't just want to tweak a few abilities, they've reworked the core mechanics of many classes to fit the modern WoW experience while still maintaining that classic feeling. Let's jump into Druids. Druids have got a lot of changes coming out. They've got new spells like Symbiosis, which allows you to grant one of your Druid spells to a different class while getting a spell from their class. Which new spell they get depends on their specialization. Which spell from that class depends on your specialization. They also are having Celestial Alignment, which is a new spell for balanced druids, allowing us instantly to enter both Eclipse states. This means you can now always be in Eclipse for certain burst moments. Astral Communion is a new spell for balanced druids. It generally generates lunar or solar energy while channeling. The main use of this ability was to get the start of a fight or preferred Eclipse instead of out of Eclipse. And also, if there's any downtime during combat, we can get an Eclipse for when the fight resumes. Subtly, rogues will now get things like Shadow Blades, a new offensive cooldown that allows our auto attacks to ignore enemy armor by converting their weapon swings to shadow damage. It also generates combo points, one every combo point. Crimson Tempest, an additional finisher that causes us to slash all nearby enemies, leaving behind a bleed effect that deals damage over time. Shroud of Concealment grants all allies 20 yards of stealth, up to 15 seconds. They're just doing change after change. Every class has been reworked. It's insane what they're doing for classes. Let's move on to the MoP's most iconic aspects, and that's the raids. We've got Throne of Thunder and Siege of Orgrimmar, both which are notorious for their intricate mechanics and challenging bosses. In MoP Classic, LFR has been removed. The idea where it's to return to the classic 10-man and 25-man raid formats where you can build your raid team and work together. Blizzard's goal is to get back to the core of raiding as a team, the way MoP was originally designed. Siege of Orgrimmar, one of the most memorable raids in WoW history, will be much more challenging without LFR. You know, the Garrosh Hellscream encounter required to have more stronger coordination, and if you remember wiping on that final phase, it's going to feel a little more intense than before. For new players who missed it, this will be a real challenge and the perfect opportunity to explore it the way it was intended. Now let's talk about the farming system. For those who loved MOP, farming is back, but with little improvements. The Tillers faction was one of the most unique features of the expansion, offering a relaxing break from combat while still rewarding players with valuable items and reputation. In MOP Classic, Blizzard is making it easy to farm and simplifying the rewards, so you can earn account-wide reputation gains and get rare pets, exclusive transmog items by leveling up your farm. Pet battles were another fun favorite in Mists of Pandaria. The system allowed to collect, train, and battle their pets in a turn-based combat system. In MOB Classic, Blizzard expanded the pet battling system with new pets to collect, additional battle mechanics, and more rewards. For those who love pet collecting, this is going to be a big draw for you. PvP in Mists of Pandaria was iconic, and now in MOB Classic, Blizzard is making sure PvP is more competitive than ever. With Conquest Cap scaling, players will now be able to catch up late in the season, and no one will be left behind in gear progression. Plus, we're seeing the return of Gladiator titles and Rank 1 rewards for the 2v2 and 5v5 arena brackets, so expect intense competition throughout the season. One of the newest features of MOB Classic are the Celestial Dungeons, and these offer a raid-like challenge but in a new dungeon setting. So think of Celestial Dungeons as like the replacement for LFR, and you can do this to earn these August Stone fragments. So you can go in, and it helps you progress. Kind of like just after Heroic, you start doing Celestial, and you get more growth. And in the dungeon, there's different effects where you get a buff to intellect and stamina through the Blessing of Yulong. There's things to change it. There's a whole bunch of like specific ways and effects. You know, it's like a challenge, like before a challenge mode kind of thing, and it also will help you later on with the legendary cape. So they're kind of replacing that you have to do a raid for legendary cape. That's what kind of the Celestial Dungeons are, and I think it's a really cool take onto it, and I'm super excited to see. Flying in Pandaria was originally locked behind a quest line, but in MOP Classic, Blizzard made it so much easier for players with multiple characters. Once you unlock flying on your main character, you can now purchase a tome to give flying to your alts, easing the grind to those looking to level multiple characters. So, whether you're returning to raids, pet battles, or the revamped class experience, Mists of Pandaria Classic is bringing something for everyone. With so many new changes and additions, it's the perfect time to revisit Pandaria or experience it for the first time. Get ready to step back into the Mists and relive the adventure. A big shout out for Blizzard for sponsoring this video, and if you like what you see and you like what you hear, please sub, comment, like. I'd love to hear your take on Mr. Pandaria Classic, and are you excited to keep going with the classic train? I want to hear about it. This has been Mr. Ree, and thanks for watching.